Betsy.
What's going on?
Betsy. Happy birthday.
Well, wait a minute. What was she doing natural? The dog was in the boot picking me up to the side. The dog went ape shit. I heard the
Free bird.
you. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was like the biggest party reveal ever.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. How did you find a bagpipe player? I did not have my money on that. I will say.
He's gonna take it. Okay. Okay. Now, for those of you that didn't know, I guess I don't need a microphone actually.
Yeah,
For
you
those of
do.
you that didn't know, my dad was a drummer in a Scottish band in Canada, and so where's Steph? Where's Steffi?
Right here.
Oh, yeah. And so was her father. My father was a drummer. The Sussex, we can't even-
Essex something.
Scottish, Essex, something. Anyway, it was a regiment, and he took it very seriously. I mean, they dressed the whole kilts and everything. So Suzy was my father's favorite. She was. It was well known. But in honor of her, I thought that was very appropriate. But to start this off, there's a song from me to Suzy. And Dennis is going to play it for me. Are we ready? Oh, we have an ad because we're on YouTube. It's okay.
Oh, yes.
Well, I have a vocal cord problem, so I don't think so.
Like a highway, she's living in a world and it's on fire.
All right, girls, you can also.
Oh, that was it?
All right, technical difficulties. It's my life.
As you speak, she knows she can find a way. Oh, she got both feet on the ground and she's burning it down. Oh, she got her head in the clouds and she's not backing down. This girl is on fire.
Sing, because I have no voice.
No, we cannot sing.
Looks like a girl, but she's a flame. So bright she can burn your eyes and look the other way. You can try, but you'll never forget my name. She's on top of the world, hottest of the hottest girls. We got our feet on the ground and we're burning it down.
Come on, ladies. I can see it.
Got our head in the clouds and we're not coming down. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. Sorry, I was just
Since I can't sing, we're going to slow it down. Okay. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that.
Perfect choice.
Here's some.
All right. Woof. Okay. Well, there. Is it working?
Yes.
it is.
All right. My sister. Okay. I actually am not going to speak terribly long because we have a lot of people here that are going to fill in the blanks of my sister's life. But I could write a novel about Suzy, but I keep it as brief as possible so I don't bore you all to death. That was why the entertainment portion of the program. Hoping I can be entertained. And we do have animal acts. Yes, ma'am. You can't hear me? Okay, I'll keep it. I'll keep it right by my mouth. Okay. Good thing I don't have COVID. I do have a vocal cord problem, so I really sound like shit. So I'm sorry. Anyway, a lot of people have come a very long way, and I thank you all for being here. People that came and had to leave, I'm so sorry they had to leave early, but give me my due. Okay,
Breathe.
okay. Oh. I've been looking forward to this memorial. It's been a long time. I don't know the people that have been involved closely in my life know that there were a lot of very hardships that I had to go through getting her animals back, and her house was robbed, and things that happened in Nashville that were just tremendous. But hopefully they're winding down, and it was important to kind of put Suzy to rest because I'm not a very formal funeral person, as a lot of you know. So this is really helping me to put this to rest, and some of her friends too. So, anyway, Suzy and I were like twins growing up, and the people that know me know that we were very close. Our family was very close growing up, and I've lost my other siblings as well. So Suzy was kind of the last of my immediate family. It was really hard to lose her because I lost a piece of myself in the fact that I couldn't call her and ask questions anymore. Like Ben and Nellie, thank God, are still around, but just silly questions. What was so-and-so's name, or where did we go on vacation, or what was that person's name, or what was mom's so-and-so? Anyway, a lot of those kind of questions. But more than that, I mean, we grew up and we had the opportunity to have separate bedrooms after Patty and David left, and we tried it for a week. We couldn't stand it, so we moved back in each other's bedroom, so we shared a bedroom. And then I went away to college, and she came up every weekend. And then I moved I moved away to Michigan State, and she was there every weekend. And then I moved to Chicago, and she was there every weekend, and we moved in together. And then, we moved away from each other for a brief moment, and then I moved back from Boston, and we moved back in together. And then my mother got sick. Well, I got an apartment. She bought an apartment, and I moved in 2 floors above her. Same layout, exact same apartment, but it was 2 floors above. And then my mother was quite ill and came to Chicago. So we loaned my apartment to my parents, and I moved in to her apartment with my cat, my boyfriend, and she had 2 cats, and she had a 1-bedroom, so I lived in her sofa. One thing after another. So it was okay. And, it just went on and on until, we got a little bit older, and actually grew up a little bit. But, we went through a lot, and my parents had health problems throughout their life, and my older sister and brother weren't exactly the most responsible portion of the program. So Suzy and I shared the brunt of taking care of them and trusted her with everything. I mean, there were so many heart surgeries and just different things that happened, and I could trust her. And when, there was any kind of financial issue, like when my dad passed away, it was just, Suzy, go to the bank, figure it out. And it wasn't that I never trusted her. It was just like, okay, 50-50. I just always trusted her with everything. Closing down my dad's house was just figure it out. What do you want? And she's like, I want this. Okay, what do you want? Okay, I want that. It was never a question. It was just trust. And it's hard to lose a person like that. Just total 100% caring and trust. And I knew Suzy was sick, and she was supposed to move here. And we were this close when she passed away. And she said that morning to a friend, she said, I'm moving to Chicago. And she was going to have coffee with this friend, and she passed that night. And it was such a shock because had she moved here, we probably could have figured it out. I think she had a lot of medication issues, and she probably was over-medicated, is my guess. But in any event, she was, Ben's godmother, and she cared about those kids more than they would probably know, or probably, they might understand more, that she wasn't able to have children of her own. She had cancer, and she was 31, breast cancer, and it took a really big toll on her, medically, physically, mentally, and then it recurred several times in her life, and she was a warrior for breast cancer, and she had other types of cancer, and she really struggled. She was really, really a very strong woman, and she fought it, and she didn't listen to her doctors, and she fought them. And thank God, because they kept telling her it was caffeine, it was chocolate. You know, the lump isn't a big deal, and she fought them, and she found out that she had very invasive cancer. And she always fought, you know, kept telling me, be your own advocate for your own health, and don't listen to your doctors, because if you feel something is wrong, please, Betsy, don't listen to doctors, just fight it, because they don't know what they're doing at all times. But she was 31 or 32, I can't remember, but it affected the rest of her life. So, any lesson you please listen to yourself and listen to your body. She was a dear, and we used to sit on the phone for like hours a day. I'd be putting on my makeup, and I would just talk to her. And I'm like, Suzy, you need to live here. Unfortunately, she liked the warm weather. But she was my dear, and she left me and my kids everything, and my cousin. And but she just I don't know how else to say it. She's gone. And she was my closest friend that I will ever have. And she just knew me. And she had every secret I ever had. There's no other person that will ever have those secrets like she did. It was family secrets. It's all her childhood memories of traveling and everything else. So in any way, okay, so that being over, I want to start introducing, because there's some people here that have come a long way, and I don't want to bore you to death. You all know that we were close. So there are some people that are going to talk about her life. I thank them so much for being here. Craig Bosley and I grew up next to each other, our families, since we were born. And Craig, I could not have lived through Suzy's death without him being part of my life. He stepped in and just, oh my God, he took over. And he helped me move everything out of our house. He helped me get everything here, including our car, including everything. And I was left there. He helped me pack, and I got some advice to stay, don't go. And I called him the night that he left, and he heard my voice, and he said, Betsy, book a ticket, I'm coming back tomorrow. And thank God he did, because I really didn't know what to do. But anyway, he knows my family, and he knew everybody. He knew Patty, David, Suzy, my mother, my father, everything. But I'm going to introduce him.
He's right behind you.
He will talk a little bit about that, and I'm going to stop there. But thank you all for coming, and this is Craig Bosley, my second brother.
All right.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. Well,
Close up.
Close.
There you go. There you go. Really close.
So, boy, do I know the stories about the boys.
We have to get you drunk.
Dad. We all grew up together, and in Flushing, Michigan. We were next door neighbors. I remember Betsy and Suzy running around the house in diapers, and remember David and I, which today's David's birthday.
oh, wow, that's right.
So David and I would be driving around in his Trans Am when we were young, and all he wanted to do was race all the other fast cars out on Seymour Road. And I was in Chicago, and I was at Naval, I went through boot camp in Great Lakes. Came into town with David after boot camp was done, and first thing he said to me, he goes, Betsy wrecked the Trans Am. And then Suzy called me probably after I came back from the Navy, and she goes, I'm moving to Florida, and I used to live in Tampa. So we spent a lot of talks about Tampa, a lot of talks about, we went through Irma together, Hurricane Irma together. And she goes, I cannot tolerate this closet I'm in. And I said, Suze, let's get over it and we move on. And that's what we did. And when Betsy called me with a situation that happened with Suzy, it really hit my heart, right? Suzy had the most incredible smile. She was always there. She, through thick and thin, we always talked. She wanted to leave Florida and go to Nashville to make a change. And a good friend of ours, Sarah Matorai, that's also here, was in Nashville. And I said, Suze, you got to put a plan together and you got to try to make it work. She did. She moved to Nashville and she enjoyed it. And we talked a couple times during the years, and then I didn't hear anything from her for years. The next phone call I got was from Betsy. So I needed to make arrangements to help Betsy, and without Suzy it just hurts. But she's a great person. I know she's watching over us right now, and she has that smile, and with the bagpipes and everything, she loved that. With sunflowers, she loved that. And you know, it's just very true to always know that there's angels up there that are watching over you through thick and thin. And we had a lot of good times. A lot of good times together.
Guys, the next person I want to introduce is somebody, I'm doing this kind of chronologically, there's somebody that came from Michigan. I haven't seen her in 35 years probably. My parents, my mom met her mother when Suzy was in diapers because the moms got together, but I'm not going to say much. But she's known Suzy since they were in diapers, and that's all I'm going to say. And she has to leave and catch a plane to go to Mexico tomorrow if she can get out of the country. But I'm just going to introduce her. Her name is Wendy Hopkins Nash, and that's all I'm going to say. But they were friends since they were 4 years old.
This was the trio. We were all always together. Three musketeers in high school.
You don't have to talk about
But I met Suzy when we were 4 years old, and back then they didn't have preschool. So it was story hour in the big city of Flushing. The population, I don't know, 2,000. But we became fast friends and best friends from a very early age. She was just always dear to me. Little did I know at that time that we would grow up and be friends for a lifetime. She was my maid of honor at my wedding. If we were single at 55, we said we were going to eat brownies and get fat.
Cheers! Cheers to that, honestly.
Right?
That's a great
She
plan.
wasn't single, so. But we always joked around about that. And on my 55th birthday, I get the phone call, you up for some brownies? So just our whole life, so many ups and downs. Jennifer was there through all of them. I have so many memories of all three of us together that I will cherish forever. Boyer House was a refuge in our teenage years. We just miss her dearly.
So I'm Jennifer. I'm her other best friend. Wendy and I were best friends with Suzy, and we alternated. Suzy would remind me, Wendy was the nicer one. And she'd go a little bit lighter on the advice, and I was the hardcore one when she was having a hard time. This is what you need to do, Suze. And, but I answered the phone. Wendy didn't always answer the phone. So I got more phone calls and I returned more phone calls. So we've known her forever. The Boyer home was our home. And Betsy was Suzy's best friend, really, always. We were the BFFs, but Betsy was the other part of her. So now it's time to take care of Betsy.
There we
And that's
go.
what Suzy was always worried about, and now we're worried about. So I would like to ask everybody here if you would pray for her, if you would check in on her, if you would do kind things for her, because of course we miss Suzy, but Suzy's not here. So this is the focus that we need to have, not just today, but the next couple years are going to be hard because they talk through everything. But we know some of the history. So Wendy and I are volunteering to be the one that talks about what we did. She's got Dana, she's got other friends, but we know what it was like to be in that home. We know what it was like to swim in the pool, to feed Max bacon grease, to get in trouble with the sit on the roof, get in trouble with the Bosleys, the whole thing. So we are very grateful to be part of this family, and we're very proud of Betsy, how she's handled us to honor her sister. And Suzy will always be part of our hearts. We miss her.
All right, Alice, are you next?
I'm ready, hon. I'm sort of ready. It just takes me a little bit to get up.
Well, I should, I don't know. Sarah, you're gonna be next.
Are we
next.
chronological? Yes. All right, I put a little something together.
Okay. Alice, well, let me just preface. Alice and my brother lived together in Ann Arbor, and then moved to Chicago, and I lived with them. And she was there when my mom died. Just part of our family for a long time. So.
Okay, so like Beth said, my name is Alice. I don't know if I met all of you yet, but it's been a pleasure, the people I have met. So I had started going out with Suzy's brother David, and he announced we, as in his parents, his 3 sisters, and I were going to a cousin's wedding in Canada. And this was like week 1 of our relationship. So the thought was truly, truly intimidating to me at the time. But little did I know that I was just worried for absolutely no reason. Every single member of the family were so kind and warm and welcoming, and they very soon became my second family. All of them. It's gonna be hard. But that was the first time I met Suze, and she was just a little tiny teenager in high school at the time. And years later, like Buck said, David and I moved to Chicago, and one by one, the sisters followed. When it was Suzy's turn to arrive, I was just surprised to see not that little teenager anymore, but a grown, mature woman who was so ready to take on the world. She was just a powerhouse. So most of my memories of Suze, I have to say, are the same memories of all the boyers. You know, they were always attached at the hip. If you saw one, you had them all, you know, and it was wonderful. And one of David's best gifts to me was his family, for sure. So the individual story that I have with Suzy that I know will be burned in my memory forever and ever. David had called to let me know that she had cancer. David and I were no longer together, but very close. And sometime after that, he called again and said, I'm coming over with Suzy. And I was just thrilled. I'm like, she's well enough to do this. This is just fantastic. You know, I was so excited to see her. Literally, I was hanging out the window of my house, waiting for them to come up. And it was a day. It was a Suzy day. It was warm. It was sunny. It was beautiful. And I see her walking up, and why don't I get glasses like this? I see her walking up, and here's what she did. She put both her arms in the air, lifted her face to the side, and just screamed, "It is a beautiful day to have cancer." You know, and that was just so Suzy, right? I mean, she was really born under the right side of Leo. So courageous. The woman was amazing. So, you know, seeing her from a teenager to fighting a disease like this, it was just, I was amazed at how she could tackle just anything she encountered head on. She was sheer determination of just plowing through whatever she needed to plow through. Nothing can stand in her way. And I just will always remember that, and I will admire her strength and her willpower, and I will always, always miss her.
Okay, there are a lot of people. I'm just gonna preface this. Sarah was there the night my sister died. And when Suzy died, it was like a brick in my face. And I called Sarah, because she was in Nashville, and I said, Sarah, Suzy died. That's all I'm gonna say. She rushed over there, and it was like a shining light for me. This is Sarah Machado. We all went to high school together.
Hey everybody. Yeah, I got that call from Betsy, and she said, you've got to go over there, check on Suzanne, because something's not right. That was not a good night in any way, shape, or form, but I sure was glad I was there because I could be a voice for her, asking questions from authorities and things like that. And I was also very happy to be there while we had to take care of all of her things. One of the things I will tell you, I did get to take her out for her birthday 1 week before. And I took her to, oh, because I'm sure, what are you trying to say? I took her to one of my favorite restaurants in Nashville, and we had such a good time. I think, I don't know how many courses we had, 4 or 5 or whatever. And then I happened to mention to them when we first came in, I had a reservation, but I said, it's Suzanne's birthday. Can you guys do something special? And they sure did. And they brought out this huge platter with all this chocolate stuff, and her face is like, and I have a great picture of her because she picked it up, and I took a picture of her. And I think that's probably the last picture we all have of her, and it was a beautiful picture of her.
On her birthday.
She was actually really so fun and joyful, and she was full of life. She just never gave up. She was always smiling, always looking to do things with other people. She loved her animals. She took Hank to the dog park probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a week. That was her getting out, and I think she did a good job at enjoying her life. So we hadn't seen each other in probably since high school, almost. And I got the call from our friend Dana Petty, and she said, Sarah, Suzanne's wanting to move to Nashville, and she's coming in 2 days. And I'm a realtor in Nashville, so I was like, of course I'll help her. So we had to look at a lot of houses. She was very particular, but we found her a beautiful home. It was a very large townhome that could hold all of her things because she had a lot of beautiful things that she had collected over the years and through her travel and everything. Beautiful art pieces, furniture, some of that's here I saw.
I own it now.
So yeah, she owns it all now. I guess the kids may probably have some, but so it was fun doing all of that with her and helping her find a home, and I think she was very comfortable in that house. So it was great getting to see her and get to know her again after all those years. So I know I miss her, and I know all of you do too. Thank you.
The next person I'd like to introduce is my cousin Stephanie. They're not blood related, but my father and her father were best friends since they were little boys. And her sister can be here today, but I'm not going to say too much, but she will speak on behalf of her elder sister who couldn't be here today.
Yes, as Betsy said, we grew up with Betsy, Suzy, Patty, and David as our cousins, who were our flesh cousins, but my dad was an only child, and Peter was his best friend, and he attributed Peter to all of his success. He said that he talked him into going to university. He coached him through times that were tough. He was his best friend, and they had a lifelong relationship, and it was wonderful. And we were so lucky because we got cousins that we would not have had on that side of the family. And you know, it would have been a big void. And we have extended family throughout Windsor because of all of the glue that actually you guys have held together. And Betsy and Suzy especially were connectors, and they made sure that we were in touch with everyone, and they would give us the lowdown on who was doing what and what was going on. And Suzy was awesome. Like, she called every week and had the update. And she talked to my mom. My mom died of pancreatic cancer 2 years ago. Suzy was on the phone with her every week, just making sure she was okay. And honest to God, like, that love, that's just, it's incredible. And we always thought these guys were like the cool cousins because they were a little older than us. And so we always went, oh my God, and they were so glamorous and beautiful. And so we'd go to their house and we'd be like, oh. And so when Valerie moved to Chicago, these guys took her under their wing. This little Canadian girl came to Chicago. And anyway, Valerie couldn't be here today, but she wrote these words. She's looking after my dad. I'm caring for my dad right now. He's 94. And Betsy actually came to visit my dad about a month ago, and he was thrilled. But anyway, so Valerie's looking after my dad today, but she did write this, and I'm hoping I can read it without crying my eyes out, because I already cried out my eyes out so many times today, and I didn't think I would, but there you go. Okay, so I'm sorry I can't be with everyone today. I can't imagine a better way to pay tribute to Suzy and to provide closure for all who loved her than to have a party. That gal loved a party. I still have a hard time believing that she's no longer with us, hosting dinners or making social plans to meet her at one of her favorite spots. Suze has always been a part of my life. She was our chosen cousin. Her dad Peter and our dad Gord were like brothers. For the first part of my life, Suze was the older cousin who was on top of the pedestal of cool and fun. It was hard to imagine being in the same orbit with her, but that changed when I moved to Chicago in 1998. She, with Betsy and David, welcomed me into the orbit and made me part of their life. Over the course of 10 years, I don't believe a week passed where I didn't see Suze. My first apartment and condo were right around the corner from her, and later, when she moved to a West Side townhouse, I think I might have had Sunday dinner with her every week. Suze was incredibly generous and was the absolute hostess with the mostest. She shared her life and what she loved with everyone who was lucky enough to be a friend of hers. Her love of food, wine, and Hawaii with me, her love of food, wine, and Hawaii with me was shared. The first time I went to Hawaii was with Suze, and I understood from the moment that I breathed that air why she loved it so much. I can't separate my love of Hawaii from my love of Suze. For me, Hawaii is Suzy. Maybe we should all get together on a plane and go there. Yeah! Right now!
If I had a bigger budget.
Last, Suze's gravelly voice and laugh were like a warm hug. They were as unique as she was, even though I didn't get to see her very much over the past 15 years. I always loved hearing her voice coming over the line on our calls. I think the physical distance we had was what makes it so hard to grasp that she's with us. And I believe that too. I mean, I didn't see her personally for several years, but I talked to her all the time, so it was really hard to understand that she's not with us. Anyway, I keep still thinking I'm going to hear that warm hug coming at me when my phone rings. We all know that Suze had her struggles in the recent years, and sometimes those struggles dimmed her light a little. But for me, that sunny and cool Suzy Q is the spirit who remains. So while not there with you in person, I'm here in spirit, as I believe Suzy will be as well. Here's to Suzy Q. May we all remember her for the sunshine she brought.
Yeah, that was great.
I have, let me just see. Nancy, are you going to speak? Nancy, are you going to speak? Where's Nancy? Benjamin, are you going to speak?
Here comes my Benjamin. Benjamin.
I recognize that shirt.
I've got my allergies acting up.
Yeah, I mean, Suzy and I were really close as kids. Used to go over to their house all the time. ride her dog. She used to have 2 giant German Shepherds. They were awesome. Didn't really have as much of a relationship with her in recent years. Lesson for you youngins in the back: don't take family for granted. Seriously, you never know who's going when. Take advantage of the people close to you. I mean, they love you. They're here for you. I wish I'd done that a little bit more. Not fun. Quick Suzy story. She had one of these like exercise stretchers. You strap in. It's good for your back. One of these things.
It flips upside down.
Flips completely upside down, and I just remember as a kid, I was so excited to go over to her house and just basically concuss myself, get on top of the head, flipping on this thing. Oh, it was so fun. And you know, well, and Hawaii was cool, but so yes, love Suzy. You know, again, I wish I spent more time with her. I wish I called her more. There obviously is still family I can talk to today, and so it's very important that we all just, you know, cherish each other, spend the time that we have together, really appreciate and make some moments that are gonna last. Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay.
Good job, Ben.
Well done, Ben.
Around back. Okay, so I also loved our Aunt Suzy. Growing up with parents that had, well, my mom and dad both had a lot of siblings, but we didn't have a lot of first cousins. So I was always confused when my friends at school would talk about how many first cousins they had and how they were all their age, and I was like, I just have fun aunts and uncles. I'm not really sure what you guys are talking about. Mine like take me shopping and to Disney on Ice, so I'm not sure what experience you're having. But Suzy was always just so full of light and so ready to have fun. I mean, she had a bar, she had it all locked in, and going to her cabin in North Carolina, those are some of my favorite, most cozy family memories. Like, it was one of my best Christmases, like when I was super young, her and her dogs. So I always just like really, really, really appreciated the time that I got to spend with her and my Uncle Bob. They were awesome. And she was the fun aunt, for sure. No offense, Aunt Gail, I love you so much. But Suzy just had this vivacious energy, and I think she was just youthful through the years. So I really appreciated that about her. And I think that her love just is evergreen, ever growing, and beautiful.
Well done.
Where's Angie? Is Angie here? Angie Rinaldi? Okay, one of our friends, Carrie Kelly from high school, wanted me to say something. She said, although I'm unable to be with you in person today, I want to take a moment to honor the beautiful spirit of Suzanne Boyer. To me, known only as Suzy, Betsy's cute little sister. It's hard to believe that 25 plus years have passed since we saw each other, which is true. A lot of people in high school, you don't see them, then you see them, and it's like, oh my God, it was yesterday. A testament to Jen and Wendy, because I haven't seen them in like 30 years. But the memories we shared remain vivid and close to my heart. Suzy was a remarkable woman whose laughter could light up any room, and I remember her sense of humor and her passion for life. She had a unique ability to make everyone around her feel valued and cherished, and her warmth touched the lives of so many. And when Suzy smiled, we all smiled. It was infectious. She was beautiful on the inside and out, and with gorgeous brown eyes, and laughter even more special, and that unique raspy voice. Well, I think I caught it.
Perfect timing.
Many people stop and remember her. What?
Perfect timing.
Oh my God. If I close my eyes, I can still see her and hear her, and that makes me smile and touches my heart. As you gather to celebrate her life, I encourage you to share your favorite stories and memories. Each laugh, each tear, and each moment reflects the incredible impact she had on all of us. Though she may no longer be physically with us, her spirit lives on, and the love we carry for her and the stories we share. Let us not dwell on the sorrow, but instead celebrate the vibrant life she led. May her memory inspire us to embrace our own lives in the same passion and joy that she exemplified. with love and remembrance, Carrie Kelly. She lives in Phoenix now. We grew up and we've known her since we were 10. So she did. Suzy always kept in touch with people. She was great.
It's right.
Oh yeah.
Coming.
It's coming. So do the people, it's coming.
Oh, the rain?
Yeah. It's
All
here.
right. I think we're cutting it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
Wrap it up, Mom. We're gonna move this party inside.
Okay, let's get inside, everybody.
Listen to Natalie.
Oh shoot, I have one last thing to do.
Do it.
Wait, wait, Dennis, where are you? We gotta finish it with something. Quick, 20 seconds. Oh, he's shoot.
He's on the phone.
Dealing with this on my sheet. Okay, Bets.
I had a crescendo at the end.
That's okay, it's not over. We can continue.
Oh wait, here's Dennis.
Dennis, need your help now, baby.
Just a drizzle. It's not even.
It's 20 seconds before you guys leave. Girls, get up here. All the girls.
What
All the
girls?
get up here. Chris, can you videotape this with the original? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I got it on. This one. Come on up, girls.
What?
Natalie? Get her back out. Where Jennifer and Wendy? Did they leave? Where are Wendy and Jennifer? What? Where are Jennifer and Wendy? Jennifer and Wendy, are you still here? Nancy. I got 20 seconds left, people. We need that important 20 seconds.
Stop for a second.
Oh, I found 5-star tacos. Open milk. Who knew this was? 5-star tacos.
Where the tacos? This is the original.
Travel down the road and back again.
You're dancing now.
Michelle, get up here. Oh, no, you don't touch it.
I don't. It just coming.
And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest. Look at Peggy's ready to dance.
Thank you for being a friend. Hey, it's just enough that we can hear from people from work.
Does not know that song.
Are we going to hear from people from work?
Okay, because it's gonna rain.
All right, let's move it inside.
It maybe blew over.
I know, right? It just
But everybody
blew
knows
away.
that song, right?
Yes.
It's great.
Love that song.
Are we going to hear from her colleagues from work?
There's the
Bets?
Cher's tribute.
Bets, are we hearing any more? Are we
I
continuing?
think that was it.
Oh, the
That
friends
was her
from work?
crescendo.
Oh, so no more. I thought we were going to get work stories.
I know, I was hoping to, right?
They were all waiting there.
She was just like,